welcome to Bible Thump. I have a couple dreams I'd like to share. Prophetic in nature. Not the only person who's having these dreams, and I'm not the only person who's sharing them online. But I'm hoping that they will confirm and add to those of you who've been having these dreams. And that's a dream or a prophetic warning of a massive tsunami. And my first dream I had about 4 to 5 years ago. And it started off, I was at a resort at the side of a beach. And I was with a group of people. And that group of people decided that they were going to sleep on the beach or camp out on the beach. And I decided I'd go back into the resort itself. It was, say, 20, 30 stories tall. And I'd go back in, and the room was up at the top. Now, I saw danger coming, and I tried yelling out at the people on the beach to come in and seek higher ground. But either they couldn't hear me or they didn't heed my warning. They stayed on the beach. And that's when I saw a wave come in that was as tall as the building I was in. It was so powerful that it toppled the building down backwards and overtook the building. At that point, I broke out of the room I was in, and somehow I ended up at the shore. Now, it's important. I knew I was somewhere in the Caribbean. Where exactly, I don't know. But I ended up swimming out into another shore where the water started to dwindle, and it was not drying up, but you know how it's something overflows and it soaks up the ground, and you kind of crawl out of the water onto what starts to be dry land. And once I hit that shore, the buildings were different. They were more American in style, as in how we brick things in modern homes. And I had walked into one of these homes after washing up on this shore, and once I walked in, I found puppies, and that's about where my dream ended. And that first dream, and then on March 9th of 2014, this year, I had another tsunami dream. Again, I was in another country, and I walked into a building that was a semicircle, kind of dome-like, and the ceiling was about 30 to 40 feet high. And I remember that I was standing in the building, and the color stuck out. It was kind of like a skin color pinkish. And I also noticed that when I faced the front of the building, which would be at my east and the ocean would have been at the west, the ocean was at the east of me, so I was pointing east when I was looking outside, and the front part of the building was all glass. When I was standing, I knew I was going to the counter to register, to sign into the building, and about that time, I felt a rumbling, and it started shaking, and it was a massive earthquake that was unfolding, and it progressively got larger to the point where it knocked me off my feet, and I sought to seek shelter from falling debris underneath a desk, and there was another person underneath that desk, and we kind of shared that shelter, but there was two other women that appeared or two women that appeared. Uh, Skin color was black, and there wasn't enough room for them underneath this desk. After that, the dream kind of fades into people leaving the building at the other end of the building. And as we walked out, I was walking out with a couple of women, not the same women that were trying to get underneath the desk, but another two women, and there seemed to be a sexual connection there. What that meant, I don't know, but I believe it has to do with the sin of the country I was in, and that kind of got confirmed with a dream from a pastor or prophet from that is prophesying on this very thing. I believe his name is EFRAIN Rodriguez, and I'll put a link to his prophetic warning below. And so we were walking out, and as we were getting close to where these girls lived, the devastation of the earthquake was very apparent. It was debris everywhere. It looked like a war zone. And one of the girls noticed that her dog was caught in debris at the bottom of one of these buildings, and I had gone, again, dogs, and I had gone in and rescued this dog and brought it out. But as we were coming out, we walked a little further, and the one thing I noticed was a Victorian style home. And this home was kind of out of place, or this building was out of place, because it was surrounded by skyscraper type buildings. And just as I was looking up, a wave came in that was over and above this building. And at that point, fear settled in, and the next thing I knew is I could see the particles in the water as it overtook us. And that was the end of that dream. And I woke up. Had that about I have it recorded here at 5:45 a.m. And those are the two tsunami dreams I've had. The first one, I only knew I was in the Caribbean area. The second one, I did follow-up research, and what I found was the only place I knew of, I looked around for semicircle, dome-like hotels that were near beaches, and I found one. And the one I found was in Puerto Rico, and it is the convention center in Puerto Rico, which is exactly dome-like. It has the glass front on it, and it is as tall as I saw in my dream. And it also maintains a lot of the color scheme that I saw in my dream. What I saw and what I understand the dream to say is that there is going to be a tsunami so great that is going to be taller than skyscrapers that we know of. And it is going to wipe out that part of the world, or at least the oceanfront areas. And I think also, when I saw the Victorian home, Puerto Rico has a lot of old Victorian homes. And so I think that's where the connections, and that's what God was pointing to when he showed these different elements. I'm not sure that the tall buildings, the skyscrapers are necessarily part of the Puerto Rico, but it has to do with how tall this wave was, because when I saw it come in the second dream, it was taller than the building. And we're talking like a 30-story high building. And it just overwhelmed it. It was the biggest thing I had ever seen. And it was full color. the very detail of saying I could see the sand in the water after it overtook us, and that's how detailed it was of a dream. So that's what I wanted to share. If this confirms or aligns with some of your dreams, then yeah, share, connect, chat below, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.